depending on what Hurricane Ian does in the next few days, you may not see me for the next few days. I live in Central Florida, and it's going to become dangerously close to where I am. So I'm not worried about losing my house. I'm not worried about, finger of God tornado stuff. Probably going to lose power. Probably going to lose internet. That seems to be par for the course, especially when you got anywhere from a category 2 to a category 4 hurricane that's either going to go right over me or right next to me. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that everybody who is watching who may be impacted by this is safe. As for me, I got a ton of backup plans. I'm an engineer. I'm going to be in good shape. I got friends to go visit and places to go. If my house loses power, I will not be here. All right, so I want to do this video because it's going to be probably my only video for the week. If there are more, consider yourself as like, oh, a bonus. Cool, there's more Jim. That's what you want, right? Modern Warfare 2 beta. Got a chance to spend some time with it this weekend. Wanted to give my honest opinions on what I saw and what I played. I pre-ordered it on Steam the day it was announced. And a lot of people say, oh, well, you shouldn't pre-order games. It's bad for the industry. You know what? Call of Duty is amazing. This game is going to be amazing. And I had no qualms pre-ordering it the second it came out. I got it on PC for a couple reasons. One, gives me the option to keyboard and mouse if I want. Also allows me to do recording, which is really, really cool. High quality recording, not the stuff you see on my Xbox or my PS5. Get to use my Elite controller if I want to. Ultra wide support. Got my nice sound system and headset down here. So I'm rocking. I'm ready. So I pre-ordered the beta. I got access to it yesterday. This weekend. And I dived into it. And I mean, it needs some work. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I could sit here and nitpick some of the pop-in things I saw, or some of the special effects didn't look quite right, or some of the sound design was a little off, or things like that. I'm not worried about any of that. And I got to admit, even if they said, you know what, we're going to launch the game exactly as you saw it in the beta, it still is better than most shooters, if not all shooters, with maybe the exception of Destiny, since I've really gotten turned back onto Destiny in terms of quality. It's fluid. It's fun. It's rewarding. I am so happy they finally have gotten away from that dopey World War II nonsense that was Vanguard. I could talk so much just about how I feel going back to a modern setting instead of this dopey hybrid, gray-toned, ugly, muted color scheme that was Vanguard. And I think that alone gives it so much stock. But if I put away all of that and I just focus on the game itself, and I don't get wrapped up in the minutia of why it's better for the franchise to be in the modern era, I will say this. It looks and plays very, very well. And if you think about the competitive space right now we have for shooters, and you think what's really out there, there's not a lot. There's definitely a lull right now. And I know Apex has been rocking it, and Fortnite continues to rock it. You know my thoughts on Halo Infinite. I've been very clear on that. And even Battlefield to a large extent as well. It'll be nice to get into some good matchmaking shooting. Yes, you're going to have the Warzone mode, which, at this point, battle royales, unfortunately, are just a dime a dozen. And you have your preferred flavor. If you're already enjoying OG Warzone, then just keep playing that. If you're a PUBG guy or a Apex Legends guy or a, PUBG, there I said PUBG, Apex, Fortnite, whatever, right? You have your flavor of battle royales. That's fine. It's nice to have where you have like a more intimate shootout session. Like, I miss so much playing Shipment in Call of Duty. You just grab a gun, run around, you'll probably get 60 kills and you'll die 56 times. And you'll have an absolute blast. Leveling up your guns, leveling up attachments, getting new skins for your character and calling cards and emotes and whatever all the crap they put in there. That's all here. So that's great. That's what I want. And the fact that it's going to be a pretty solid single-player campaign, a continuation of what was, I thought, a phenomenal campaign, is very, very exciting too. So I think it's got a lot going for it just in terms of like the momentum leading into the game. My experience with playing it was fun. I really did enjoy it. working through getting loadouts and beginning to unlock different pieces of my gun, figuring out which gun I liked, really starting to notice impacts of like an assault rifle versus a shotgun versus an SMG versus a pistol. Being able to kind of work through those, doing some really cool stuff and popping off a really juicy kill streak, which allowed me to call in some really cool support. It felt very normal to be able to do that, and I'm glad that that's back. It's incredibly polished, and I have to say the thing that stood out to me the most, the graphics look great, but it was the sound design. So much more so than the graphics. Because I think by this point, we all expect a certain standard of things looking good, especially I'm playing on PC. I got a high-end computer. At this point, I'm not going to say things don't wow me. That's not true. The fluidity has to be there. It's going to definitely run at 60 frames a second on all, high settings. But more so, I want to feel immersed in the game. I want to feel like I'm making a difference. I want to feel the impact of my weapons. When people get shot, when explosions go off, I want to feel it. I want to see it. I want to hear it. And that's really where I think sound design is really starting to play a significant role in gaming, much more so than I think you saw in previous games, because you would look at like a PlayStation 4 launch title, and then by the end, you're looking at something like Last of Us, and it looks photorealistic. And then PlayStation 5 comes along. Those graphics look photorealistic. And then the new title comes out, and it's like, oh my God, can they get better? Can they get better? Can they get better? You get to a certain point where it's kind of like, I've seen it, But the sound design, I've noticed a major, major change in Call of Duty, at least from my limited time with Vanguard, because I did not buy it, but definitely from other experiences. And it sounds like they spent a lot of time in the way that sounds reverb around corners, the way explosions happen, the sounds of like the metallic noises of loading a weapon and jumping over something while carrying a weapon, or holstering one weapon and pulling out another, reloading, iron sights. It all had a very gun-like feel and sound to it that was incredibly immersive and very, very satisfying as you're shooting downrange and you're hitting enemies and you're hearing and feeling each individual just bullet, just doosh, doosh, doosh. The way the screen's flashing, the way the casing is flying. It had a very solid feel to it. And I think that's the one thing that I love so much about this beta was I instantly was immersed in it. Even when stupid things were going on, like there's a level where the helicopter's taking off and like the blades didn't spin. Like it looked like the blades were just like solid. Like they weren't even spinning. It was just like a little plus sign and they just went straight up. It was like, I think that's a bug, right? It has to be. Little things like that, or your loadout doesn't say, whatever. It doesn't matter. You name it. But I love that I just had that immersion to it. There's going to be tons of modes that come out. Some are going to stick, some aren't. The fan base is going to be so massive, especially with crossplay. You're going to be able to play whatever they give out. It's not going to be an issue like in other games where you're like, oh, I really need to do this mission, or I really need to do this, but I can't because not enough people are playing. You will not have that problem in a Call of Duty game. That's very exciting. The fact that your progression system is based solely on your skill for playing. Nothing to do with dailies, nothing to do with missions. You just play. Play the way you want to play. Level up the guns you want to level up. If you want to run around with a shotgun the entire game and just have an OP beefed up shotgun, do it. It doesn't matter. No matter what you do, it's going to feed back into your character level. So, I mean, it's just a solid design that's just more solid. And I didn't want to play too much because I assume progress is going to be reset. They didn't say it, or if they did, I missed it. But I know there's still some polishing issues, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to enjoy like a fresh run, essentially, when the game comes out later this year. And I fell in love with it within seconds of playing it. So I'm back. I can't wait. I have looked a little bit online, reading a little bit of stuff on Reset Era and Reddit. People are very, very positive on this. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with Vanguard and just how bad Vanguard was, and we're just like happy for something new. But I also think it's just, if you think about it on its own, it's a very, very refined game, and it feels like the next chapter in something that was already amazing. It's like your favorite, it's like the Avengers got a sequel. It's like, oh my God, more of the same that I love, plus a little bit of refinement here and there. Absolutely. Day one purchase for me. Obviously, I pre-ordered. I suspect the day one purchase for many other people as well. Definitely reinvigorated my love and my passion and my excitement for this franchise, and I can't wait for more. That'll wrap up today's video. I'm going to post this a little bit later in the week. I'll probably post this maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. Like I said, I might be around, I might not. But when I'm back, I'm sure I'll have plenty to talk about. That's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.